Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Romain_JF. Today what we're going to talk about, we're actually going to talk about one of my favorite topics, what's going on with the investigation in Haiti. Guys, I'm going to cut straight to the point today in order for you to understand what's currently going on. It's been a month since the president was assassinated, and it's been a little over a month, and we still don't have many answers, but we have answers, right? I think that the Haitians, the politicians, the police, everyone in Haiti, and even Diaspora as well too, they have a hint of the direction the investigations go into. But I'm going to first and foremost say these individuals that they are after are hard to get to because of their economic abundance. Okay, and let me start with the facts, right? The reason why I'm coming with this today is because not too long ago, Moise's wife, Martine Moise, right? Our former president's wife, went on, she did a New York Times interview in which she explained what happened that graphic night. The assassins came after, the mercenaries came after her husband. Those mercenaries, I just want to say, guys, today are in custody. But she said what happened that graphic night. She explains in the New York Times interview, and you can read this article for consumption. She explains that they came after her. They shot her. They thought she was dead. The title of it is "They Thought I Was Dead," and then they went after her husband and assassinated her husband, our president. Okay, what is really astonishing in this article is, one, her strength. I pray for her. I pray for her family. I pray for all of Haiti and all of the diaspora as well too, because we too suffer in this situation. But today I want to get to the facts. There's one thing that Martine Moise did within that article. She actually implicated someone's name, right? She name dropped in a New York Times interview, falling short of saying she thinks this person is behind this assassination, but she gave the investigators an Easter egg, as you would say, right? And she gave them a lead tip into a man named Jovenel Moise. Okay, if you haven't seen or heard of this man, Jovenel Moise, I did some research on him, and he seems to be a businessman in Haiti. He has many ties in Haiti, right? He is on the chair of one of Haiti's second largest banks. I want to say as well too, from what I was able to muster, if they say on Google he's worth a little shy of $1 billion. But I want to say that's of the funds that we know of. He could very much be a billionaire, right? The reason why Martine Moise, Jovenel Moise's wife, had implicated his name is because prior to, let me just say you a few facts. Prior to Jovenel's assassination, this very wealthy businessman in Haiti, this Jovenel Moise, him and Jovenel had a fallout. And that fallout, what it ended up leading to, Jovenel Moise froze his assets in Haiti, his banking assets. The guy himself fled the country in fear of some sort of remediation for whatever Jovenel was looking into. But this guy, you guys, you can go ahead and Google this yourself. He's a very powerful individual in Haiti, and he is to believe to hold some sort of power as to the reason why Haiti is in the current condition it is in today. Jovenel has said in many interviews, he said he has people in the background, right, that want to boss him around and tell him what to do, right? And you can imagine these individuals aren't necessarily they're not all politicians. Some of them can be the elitists, in which he talks about. If you understand Creole, if you go back, maybe you can find a video that has a translation for those that don't necessarily understand Creole or French. But Jovenel explains that he always says he only has one boss, and his boss is the people of Haiti, and he's fighting for the people of Haiti. And these individuals that are in the background, the oligarchies, the large families in Haiti, the billionaires, the special interests, didn't like the fact that Jovenel wanted to disrupt their business practices. And I want to tell you this right now. Haiti is in the condition it's currently in today because there are monopolies on the industrial aspect that thrives the nation, right? It's ridiculous. These individuals, and I'm going to go ahead and say this, the Mulat class of families in Haiti, the Mulats, they're either husbands, wives, the Mulat business owners in Haiti, they have a monopoly on Haiti. You got to see sometimes, guys, you got to see the way some of these individuals live in the country. You won't even believe they live in Haiti. They are the most powerful people, not only in that country, but in the world in itself, right? They live a very private life, but modest isn't a life that they live at all. They live a very lavish life, and you'll be surprised. You'll think to yourself, where are these funds coming from? You're a businessman in Haiti. The country has been synonymous with being one of the poorest countries in the Western Hemisphere, but you don't seem to be affected by this at all. You couldn't go ahead and say that they probably have businesses elsewhere, but continue to do your research, guys. I want to say this individual, Jovenel Moise, right? In 2010, the devastating earthquake that had happened in Haiti, his name was brought up many times in different articles, whereas the American president at the time, Clinton, and also as well too, George Bush, and also as well too, Clinton, right? Bill Clinton thought it was important enough to have a meeting with this individual to talk about the allocation of funds the outpour of funds that were going into Haiti, right? They didn't meet it's not that they didn't meet with the president, but they thought it was important enough to meet with this individual. And he had a business at the time, and him and Bill Clinton at the time were supposed to, make account for the funds and distribute the funds within a way that would make sense for the nation to help build infrastructure. And to this day, I don't know if you guys have ever been to Haiti, but to this day, you look around and people will talk about what happened to those funds. If you read enough articles, he may know, right? This Jovenel Moise guy may actually know what happened to those funds, because you go to Haiti, you can't see it, right? You can't see where the infrastructure had went, and billions of dollars were sent to Haiti in the form of aid. But this individual keep popping up, guys. And so I just want to say, Jovenel Moise, she gave us an Easter egg. So they're still looking to investigate this situation, and this investigation is not getting any easier, right? What we know so far is that whoever put out this hit had an abundance of funds, because about a little less than 30 mercenaries were sent over to Haiti in order to do this daring act, right? 30 mercenaries. They were very well paid and very well funded. They had ammunition, they had vehicles, they had walkie-talkies, cell phones, credit cards, personal. Americans as well, too. Haitian Americans were there they had translators. They had, some of them had vacationed in the Dominican Republic prior to doing mercenary work for God knows who, right? And the investigation had led in many different directions. But I always say, and Jovenel Moise even says in this article, you got to follow the funds, right? You got to trace the funds here in order to find out who is behind this task. And currently, guys, with this investigation, people are dying left and right. Anyone who has anything to do with this investigation should be in fear of their life, because whoever is still behind this act is still meddling in the investigation causes. This person has an abundance of funds because they keep finding individuals, they keep finding out names, prosecutors, right? Judges are afraid to take on this case. detectives are afraid to investigate this case as well too, because when you have a case such as this one, you have to bring up evidence to a judge in order to get search warrants, right? In order to formally prosecute this case and bring up indictment charges. Okay. I want to say too, to be fair, that the individual Jovenel Moise, he has said in plenty of interviews, and they had reached out to him for statement, that he has nothing to do with with this killing. He says again, he said the president's death, and don't quote me, but he said the president's death in itself was something that he is highly against. The president being alive was of a better advantage to him, because he was going to run on a campaign opposing the current president, right? This guy, Jovenel Moise, wanted to run for presidency himself. And I just want to say, it looks like that's currently not going to happen, because this individual right now has fled Haiti, right? Has fled Haiti prior to Jovenel being assassinated. His assets were frozen. He had fled Haiti. And he's currently outside of Haiti and afraid to enter in, or maybe he's not even afraid. I mean, like I said, this guy is a billionaire, but it says that he's afraid to enter back into the country because of ramifications due to this investigation. Looks like he has reason to be afraid and to be outside of the country. So, guys, this investigation is going a lot of places. I just want to say that I think if we look back, the real enemy of Haiti currently is truly the oligarchy families. Now that our eyes are a bit open now, and Jovenel Moise has said that, with the Haitian people, you start to realize there's a lot of corruption that happens in Haiti, and there's a lot of corruption that's currently going on in Haiti. And if you look, there is a monopoly on not only the ports, there's a monopoly on gas, there's a monopoly on the electric grid in Haiti. They say all the time, if you ever been to Haiti, you'll buy courant, right? Gouvernement buy courant. In Jovenel's presidency, the government Jovenel paid himself for electricity to be on for the Haitian people. And the individual that owns the power grid, right, didn't think to put the electricity on for the people and pocketed the cash himself. A lot of times Jovenel always says, what happened to the funds? What happened to the money that we paid to keep the electricity on for the people? And a lot of Haitians didn't understand at the time. They thought Jovenel was, they thought he was on the in crowd. He was one of the gang members himself. They thought he was a crooked politician, and really, when it all comes down to it, he was actually trying to do the work of the people, but the people didn't understand.